There has never been a more important time to move in a vegan direction. Whether you're ready to start, restart, or re-energize your vegan or plant-based practice, this podcast is for you. I'm Michele Olander, life coach, vegan, ADHD matriarch, travel lover, and smoothie loather. And I know that it's the details that get in the way of your vegan journey. But I like to believe that the obstacle is always the way. So every week we meet here where I translate the tools of life coaching and Stoic philosophy. I bring you actionable tips, some laughs, interesting guests, and vegan ideas for everyone at any age. All to help you veg your best. Episode 234. The kids are watching as you mess up. Hey, my veg your besties. Last week of February 2025. I did that right? My Veg Your Besties, I've been working on my website this month. I've been pitching myself to be on podcasts, and I've been writing and planning, and I have had a bunch of hissy fits and meltdowns, just to be perfectly frank about it, because I love coming here to you every week. I love coaching my clients and answering your emails or questions over on Instagram. But I don't love the back end, the back end and the putting myself out there stuff. And I do not love it, and I'm not that good at it, but bit by bit, most of it gets done, albeit slowly sometimes. And last week I actually recorded this very episode, but I had a snafu with the microphone. And if you don't know the term snafu, which I think has a military history to it, snafu, S-N-A-F-U, you can look it up, but it sounds like what it is. I had a snafu with the microphone, and since this episode in its planning, since this episode is about being brave enough to be a beginner and to be bad at things, and that people need to see us being bad at things, we thought we might keep the poor audio version in, but honestly, I just couldn't. It sounds too bad, in my opinion. So Charlie is coming to the rescue once again. Thank you, Charlie. So the topic is that being good at things, to be the expert, the master, the person who knows exactly what they're doing is great. I mean, at least I imagine it's great. It sounds honestly awesome to me. But as I'm re-recording this episode right now, I'm seeing very clearly that it's not the being good at things that is really important. It's much, much more the consistency of showing up and letting the mess and the missteps still be steps. And occasionally, like this week, thanking the universe for keeping me very humble. So the point is being masterful, being great. It's probably awesome. I clearly don't know. But here's what I do think. Our most amazing lives, our most fulfilling, rewarding, and impactful moments on this earth, they really come from being willing to be new at something. They come from being willing to be not great at something, to not know, to try things, to stumble, to experiment, to ask for help, and to risk looking super awkward or even worse. We're always out there trying to encourage our young folks around us, the young people. Yeah, we're trying to get them to put themselves out. We're trying to get them to try and go big or go home and seize the day. And what are all those aphorisms? What are all the go get 'em, take no prisoners expressions? Why do we believe that it's so important for younger folks to lean in and try harder and get out there and put their backs in it and be brave and be themselves loud and proud? You get it right. But if you are in midlife, maybe if midlife was a couple of summers ago, I wonder if you and I can better support some of those young, reluctant, anxious people, maybe we could better support them by modeling for some of those overwhelmed kids who feel so scrutinized and judged in this world of 24-hour social media. Maybe there's a way they can see us putting ourselves out there and being vulnerable and sharing how that's going for us. So I said above, it sounds amazing to me, the idea of being a master at something, really being an expert at something. But if I have any kind of expertise or mastery at all, I think it may just be in having, in my 50s and now in my 60s, started to be brave enough to fail publicly, to look awkward, to be willing to know that people are saying, what is she doing? What's going on with her? Because there are so many great reasons to blow your own mind by doing things that you never thought you could do, even if you will never actually master those things. You know, there are a couple of very high-profile younger people who have stepped into the podcasting space and then just dropped it. I mean, of course, there are many successes, right? And the thing is with people who are great successes is they make it look easy. I would say that nothing I've done has ever made any, I don't think anything I do makes anything else look easy. But some people have made podcasting look so easy that a few people are drawn to this new media, and there's some, pretty high visibility people who have dabbled in it and then just dropped it. And I think that's an interesting thing to think about when young people are feeling like, where's the bang for the buck? Where is my reward for stepping in? And I think it's up to some of us older folks, to model why it's still valuable to do something that doesn't, I don't know, for want of a better word, that doesn't scale. Do you hear that all the time? Well, how does that scale? Well, there's a lot of things that don't scale. They're super valuable. Anyway, the reason why I am willing to be Michele, what is going on with her? It's because there are so many great reasons to blow your own mind by doing those things you never thought you could do. And yes, that may be my opinion, but it seems that science bears it out. According to the science reported through the National Institute on Aging, and I made an aside in the previous version of this, I can't promise you that the National Institute on Aging even still exists by the time you hear this podcast. The government is being reorganized very, very assertively, and National Institutes of Health did exist when I got this information, but we don't know. But it has reported that it is crucial for humans to try new things throughout their lives. Learning new skills, engaging in new activities, novel concepts. This can help maintain cognitive health for very young humans. It's essential for growing their brains. And in later stages of life, it's important for maintaining cognitive health, improving memory, and even slowing down some cognitive decline as we age. And essentially, it is as simple as exercising the brain by trying new things. And it can be just as important as physical exercise for overall well-being. And that's because of brain plasticity, which I know we've talked about, but maybe not recently, because even in older brains, there is a capacity for neuroplasticity, meaning the brain can still form new connections and adapt to new learning experiences. Studies have shown that the cognitive benefits of learning new skills, whether it's a language or playing an instrument, taking up a new hobby, reading intensively on a certain subject, or moving in a plant-based direction, learning to fuel yourself effectively on a vegan diet. Super important for protection of cognitive function and processing speed. Mental stimulation, engaging in mentally challenging activities. Maybe that's just figuring out how you're going to travel in the Loire Valley of France without starving if you're a vegan. But these things help keep your brain active, and they very often help to delay age-related cognitive decline. The improved quality of life of trying new things, it's real. The things you learn, the people you learn about, the perspective you gain with a new concentration, it can give you a strong sense of accomplishment and so much more overall enjoyment and just a all-around better quality of life in older adults. And I know for sure, if you're like most of the people who listen and respond to the podcast, you probably have decades of food habits, food traditions and routines and beliefs that feel second nature to you. And it's hard not to think that it's too late to make a big change like moving in a vegan direction. It's hard not to think that, I won't be able to keep it up, or I don't have the support I need, or how can I do it with this family member who's not into it? Maybe I don't have time to learn all that's involved in a plant-based practice. And honestly, will it even make that much difference? And as you know, I have felt all those issues. I've thought all those things. And you know what? Young people, all the young people around you, they are feeling a lot of that too. About so many topics, about so many things. I hear so many people in their 30s, even in their 20s, tell me that it's too late for something. And I know you've heard that too. People in their 20s thinking, I guess that ship sailed. And in coaching, the concept comes up all the time. One of the things so many older clients say to me is, if I could tell my younger self just one thing, it would be not to be afraid that you missed your chance. Not to be afraid that it's too late for you, and not to talk yourself out of what it is you do want. Because what was true then is still true. And I think that moving in a plant-based or a vegan direction, even in your 50s or 60s, 70s, or beyond, is a powerful and positive thing. And if you're wondering, is this exactly the right time to start? Why? Because being a beginner at something new, like eating plant-based, is one of the best things you can do for your brain, your body, your sense of purpose, your commitment to the next generations who really are, I promise you, looking for your leadership in how to function on this planet. And just as you would tell a young person to try a little bit more, lean into it, be a little brave, take the next step, not compare themselves to anyone else, enjoy the process, get into the experimentation, just as you might say that to some young person, that goes triple for us. That goes triple for us. Nutritionally, a plant-based diet is packed with anti-inflammatory, heart-healthy nutrients that can nourish your body at any age. And yes, even starting in midlife, can often improve, sometimes even reverse years of less than optimal habits. We've had medical experts on the podcast to discuss this, to share with us their findings. And that's leadership. Learning new skills, including why and how to plan or order or cook plant-based meals or make ethical purchases. That knowledge strengthens your neural pathways. It helps keep our minds sharp. Studies show that even in later years, our brains remain plastic, meaning they can adapt and grow when challenged, and we can just think about it as brain gymnastics. And the emotional resilience. Starting something new builds emotional resilience. We talk about how necessary grit is for young people, right? grit. We need our young people to have grit. Well, as we age, we need this too. We need to practice focusing more on the positive outcomes that we desire and less on the setbacks and challenges and missteps that show up on a important journey. And let's not forget, adopting a beginner's mindset can bring such a renewed sense of joy and purpose as long as you're looking for that, as long as you're looking at it that way. When you see yourself, however imperfectly, voting with your time and your purchases and your brain power and your energy for things that cause less suffering, less degradation to the planet we are leaving for billions of young people. When you do that, you model something we need now more than ever. It's never too late to live a little more closely to who you'd like to be. Jane Goodall, friend of the pod. I'd love to say that she was a friend of the pod, but she gets mentioned here once in a while. Age 90, I believe. She has more inspiring quotes than I can even get through. But for today's purposes here, quote, "The greatest danger to our future is apathy. You cannot get through a single day without having an impact on the world around you." Jane Goodall. So the decision is, what is the impact you want to make? Because you are changing the world with your choices today. We all are. Owning that in whatever way you can is the most liberating, exciting, connecting thing we can do. Yep, that's just my opinion. That's what I see in the people I work with. Maybe vegan seems like, an ideal, but you don't currently believe it's possible for you or practicable for you. Maybe being plant-based seems like a great idea, but not realistic for you. I get it. That's fine. It's not only fine, it's normal, and it is still so valuable and worthy and remarkable to just start making some steps in that direction. Taking some actions inspired by those concepts. And that's why this podcast, Veg Your Best, that's why it's here. Because most of us, it's true, most of us can't really believe we can do the full vegan thing, the full plant-based thing. But our younger generations need us to show leadership. They do. They need us to make choices to protect the planet, to make choices that lead to family and community health and sustainability. Yeah, being a beginner, it feels awkward. I get it. Starting something new is frustrating often. Maybe you feel overwhelmed by all the options. You worry about getting enough protein. Maybe you've tried before and it didn't stick. Or maybe you're afraid of what friends or families will think when you show up with lentil loaf or cross-examine the waiter at the diner. Instead of just eating the meat and eggs you always did, it's all normal. It's all normal. Our brains, of course, love routines. They're efficient and comfortable, and your brains will try to take you out of making this change and most other changes. The typical thoughts we'll hear in our brains is, this is too hard. I'm too old for this. It's too late. It's not going to matter enough. But here's the truth. It's not too late. It's just not. In fact, there's never been a better time to embrace plant-based living. There's never been more resources, recipes, products, support available. The world is ready for you to succeed. So 6 quick strategies to make being a beginner easier. These are just some mindsets, and just be willing. Number 1, be willing to do it poorly. Anything worth doing, it's worth doing badly. You will make mistakes, and that's okay. Laugh at those moments. They're part of the adventure. And number 2, expect it not to go according to plan. We plan for it to go right, but just like my microphone last week, expect it not to go according to plan. You might think, okay, I'll go plant-based and it'll be smooth sailing. But then surprise, You're at a family gathering with nothing vegan friendly on the table except celery sticks or that new dairy-free cheese you brought, and it turns out doesn't taste like what you'd like. You get to keep your sense of humor intact. Nothing's really gone wrong. You can adjust, experiment, and remember that every stumble is just part of learning. Every misstep is the next step. And number 3, it's important to take care of yourself. Changing anything in your life that's big, changing how you eat, that's one of those big shifts. It takes energy. It takes glucose out of your brain, you know. It's tiring. So you have to stay hydrated and eat enough food, yes, and make sure you're getting nutrients like B12 and iron. And remember, it's not about being perfect. It's about making progress. Don't take yourself too seriously. That's something we always have to remind ourselves. And if you accidentally ate something non-vegan, or it wasn't such an accident, but you didn't know how to function in a certain situation, it's the next best choice that you can make. So approach this journey with curiosity and self-compassion. It's part of the process. And number 5, don't compare yourself to anyone. Honestly, maybe someone on Instagram is effortlessly whipping up gourmet vegan meals and you still don't know how to make that quinoa. It's okay. It's okay. We just compare ourselves to where we used to be, where we were yesterday or this morning, and we get to celebrate every small win. All right, that's enough for today, my Veg Your Besties. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, it's to try on the thought, it is not too late. It is not. If you knew it was not too late, what would you do today or this summer or this year? How inspiring do you think that would be? Who around you actually needs to know that that's possible? And how would that ripple through your life that it's not too late? And how can we here in the Veg Your Best community cheer you on, whether it's starting, restarting, or re-energizing your plant-based practice or any other area? I would love to support you and be your coach. And while you're giving that a think this week, how your choices, your leadership might ripple through the lives of the young people who see you, while you're giving that a think, maybe just Veg Your Best. Veg Your Best podcast production, music, and editing by Charlie Weinshank. Thanks, Charlie. Before you go, it would mean so much to me and the Veg Your Best team if you would hit subscribe, leave us a 5-star review, or share with someone you think might be interested. Something about algorithms, it helps bump us up a little in the rankings, and that's the best way to help others find the podcast and for us to find our audience. So, until next week, make it easy and veg your best.